Hi everybody, today I want to tell you all about PJ Sparkles, who you see here. PJ Sparkles is a doll that was sold between 88 and 91, 92. Her neck stamp actually shows 1988, but the first instance I could find of her being sold in catalogs were from 1989 catalogs, which I'll show you some of those clips coming up. But she's made by Mattel. And she is a 14-inch doll from head to feet, but 16 inches if you count her bow. And the interesting thing about PJ Sparkles is she lights up. So I'm gonna press her. Mine still works except for the bow. So her other things still light up, her bracelet, her earrings, and her chest heart. So I'm gonna press that now so that you guys can have a look at it. And we'll also do it in a dark room later so that you can see it better. Actually, my bracelet may not be working anymore. Oh, there it goes. Okay. You have to press it pretty hard to get it to light up. And I'll show you that mechanism later too. But Mattel produced a lot of dolls during this time period that sort of had the same look to them in the 80s and 90s. What comes to mind really for me is Little Miss Makeup. I also had Little Miss Makeup. And they have this sort of sweet round face. PJ Sparkles actually has sparkles in her eyes. So she has embedded, these are embedded, I guess they would be rhinestones or jewels, whatever you would call those, right there in her eyes. You can see that my girl has been banged up a little bit on her cheeks, and I thought about trying to clean that up, but what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to remove all the blush, so I decided to leave her as is, and it just shows that she was a very loved doll when I was a young girl. So I'm very lucky, or I'm very thankful that I never cut any of my doll's hair, because she still has a nice full head of hair, and it's actually in really good condition. It's not really frizzed out or dry or have, you know, mats and stuff in it like you see a lot of times with dolls of this age. And PJ Sparkles also has a sort of tinsel in her bangs. Now that is not throughout her hair, it's just in the bangs. So the rest of her hair is blonde. There was also an African American version, which I do not have, but I would love to track one down on the secondary market. I sort of checked around and I haven't really been able to find any. But I go to thrift stores and flea markets a lot, so maybe one day I'll run across one and I can add one to the collection, because she is a really sweet doll. So what I want to do now is I want to show you the commercial that came out for PJ Sparkles. So have a watch.
PJ Sparkles, shine a light on me, shine, shine, shine. Meet PJ Sparkles, the doll who loves you back. When I give you a hug, you light up in love. From morning to night, when I'm holding you tight. PJ Sparkles, shine a light on me, shine, I love you too. PJ Sparkles doll. Her dress becomes a nightie. Batteries not included. Only from Mattel.
Okay, so in the commercial, you see the little girl's laying in bed, cuddling up with PJ Sparkles, and she gives her a kiss. And when she gives her a kiss, the head sort of does this thing. And so I have tried to replicate this multiple times, and I'll show you. I'm gonna give her a kiss, but her head doesn't do that thing that she does on the video. It just kind of stays stationary. And I wonder if they had a different, you know, a mock-up version of the doll that they use for the commercial. Now her head does swivel really easily, so you can see it swivels really nicely. But one thing I will never forget when I was a kid, and this is a very distinct memory for me, I'm gonna remove her dress so you can see what I'm talking about. When I got this doll, I of course had seen the commercial when I was watching my Saturday morning cartoons, and I was a very impressionable young girl. I wanted a PJ Sparkles so I could cuddle up with her at night and turn her lights on when I wanted to. Here's the thing about PJ. She is a very hard-bodied doll. Everything is hard, so her limbs are very hard vinyl. It's not even soft, squishy vinyl. She's a very hard vinyl. Her body is a very hard plastic. I don't even think it would qualify as vinyl. It is super hard, and I guess it needs to be for all the mechanics she has going on. But when I was a kid and I got this doll and I tried to cuddle up with her, I remember thinking she is way too hard to sleep with. I could not cuddle up with this doll in bed because she was just, it was so uncomfortable to hold her in my arms. So just so you can see, this is how she looks undressed. She has this bodysuit on. And then on the back, I'm gonna show you the battery cavity. So this is where you squeeze to do the lights. Mine you have to squeeze pretty hard, and that's probably due to age. But the fact that she even still works is pretty, you know, pretty impressive. And I'm gonna show you her batteries now. The battery door comes off pretty easily if I remember correctly. Oh, I just pulled my nail off trying to do that. Let's see. No, maybe I need a flathead screwdriver to pull that off. Let me grab one real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna use this to pop the battery door off, and that's really easy to do. I probably could have done it with my finger if I tried harder. And you see she uses a 9-volt battery there. And that's actually a really old battery. Kodak Superlife, I don't even think they make that anymore. So she's working there. And you can see here this red button, that is what activates the lighting. So to press that, and this is held on with string so that you don't lose that battery cover. And there it is. So that's the mechanics here. And you can also see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can see back here the body stamp, the Mattel 1988 body stamp. And then also on the back of her head, she's got a stamp there. So this is the first PJ Sparkles in the PJ Sparkles line. They also did a Baby Sparkles, which was her baby sister, and it was about, it's a baby doll, you know, it's not this is like a girl doll, and then they did the baby doll. And then in 91, they did a doll called Star Bright Sparkles, which I'll show you some ads for her in just a second. And Star Bright Sparkles has a crown on her head, and she actually does a projection up to the ceiling. So I'd love to get my hands on one of those too. And I looked on eBay, and they're pretty readily available, so one of these days I might grab one, but I'm going to see if I can find one at the flea market and thrift stores first. So let's have a look at some of those ads I was talking about. This ad is from the 1989 Sears catalog, and this was all the feature that PJ Sparkles got, and you can see that she was $24.66. This ad is from the 1990 JCPenney catalog, and they had Baby Sparkles and PJ Sparkles, and you can see that PJ had been marked down to $24.99. Next up, we have the Star Bright Sparkles from the 1991 Sears catalog, and you can see they were significantly more expensive at $37.44 each. Last up, we have the spread from the 1990 Mattel catalog. Now, this catalog was not sent to consumers, but was rather sent to retailers to help them decide which products to sell in their stores. So, in addition to the ads you've just seen, there were also some pets, some PJ Sparkles pets, and there were some other things throughout the years that they made. There was even how would you call it, not a reboot, but they remade a PJ Sparkles in 2007, another company did. So she's a really interesting doll, and for folks of my age, probably everybody remembers her. A lot of girls had her, and it's just a really fun memory, and it's fun to kind of walk back and look through the history of the doll. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, or if you had PJ Sparkles as a kid, or you have her now in your collection, leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you've got any of the Star Bright Sparkles or the other PJ Sparkles dolls that you need taken off your hands, let me know. I'll be glad to do so. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.